Join Carol Davies on Global Voice Radio, the host of Only the Best for You. Be a change maker and unlock the secret to your best life.
Welcome to the latest show on my program, Only the Best for You, here on Global Voice Radio. My name is Carol Davies. I'm a success coach with the Passion Motivator Coaching Company. I'm so pleased to be sharing various topics to help you become a change maker, being the best you can be, and developing the finest life for yourself. Frequently, my clients have asked me, how can they find their ideal or dream job? As we know, having a satisfying career is very important to having a good life and work balance. We have all been in jobs that we don't particularly like or aren't a good fit for us. What to do? Since our work life is a major portion of our life, doesn't it make sense to put our best efforts into having our dream job? It isn't as hard as we may think. Today, I'd like to give you some easy and practical suggestions about how to go about finding your ideal job. Step one is figure out what you actually want. Before you start applying, the most important thing for you to do is to think about what you actually want out of your new job, from what you'll be doing day to day to the overall company culture. Blindly applying to online postings won't get you very far, and taking just any job may have you searching again before you know what you really want. Instead, knowing what you're after will be your guide to creating a tailored job search plan. More and more professionals are viewing their careers as dynamic and moving around in different industries and roles, but centering their work around what gives them meaning and purpose. In fact, whole companies are built around this idea. There was a man, he's called Nathaniel Kolbach, who graduated from college in 2008, and he saw that jobs are more often now viewed as stepping stones along a much longer career journey or path. He co-founded a nonprofit recruiting company called Rework to help professionals find purpose-rich work. Essentially, not just a job, but a job that meets your needs and your strengths, and where you will feel like you're making a valuable contribution. In fact, nowadays, the truth is that job searching has become more like shopping and like buying a new outfit. It's helpful to have a thorough understanding of yourself before you go into the fitting room. For example, your assets, your liabilities, and what makes you smile, instead of buying anything and getting stuck with it and not being able to return it. That's just like going after the wrong job, not putting any thought and just taking anything that comes along. The key to getting a job now is understanding how you and your potential new employer would fit together. To do that, you have to understand how you find purpose at work and what drives that. Purpose isn't the question of what you're going to be when you grow up. That's the same as imagining your wedding before you even meet someone. Sure, it's fun and it's a fantasy, but a Pinterest board won't tell you what marriage is. Finding purpose in your career is about finding what excites you and ultimately what will allow you to create the most meaningful impact in the world. It's about your desire for impact, personal growth, and relationships. Clearly understanding what drives purpose for you greatly increases your odds of success in a particular role or company. So, as you're shopping for jobs, start by asking yourself who, why, and how. For example, who do you work for? Or who do you want to work for? Some people prefer to work on an individual level, one-on-one with other people, while others prefer the organizational or societal level. Think about where you fall on that spectrum. Then look to the clients, customers, and participants of your potential employer. If the company you are interviewing for works on the broader organization level, and you prefer to work with individuals to drive change, it will certainly be harder to generate your purpose in a company that doesn't match what's important to you. Secondly, why do you want to work? This is a very important question. The foundation of our purpose lies in our definition of progress. Some people believe that hard work will be rewarded with success, while others believe that there is a certain moral responsibility to serve. And if you don't, chaos will ensue. And it's important to understand how your motivations mesh with your future employers. If, for example, you're in an organization that believes that social responsibility and intervention is necessary to drive change, but you feel that if you invest, the market will rise accordingly, the difference of ideology will affect your work. Thirdly, how do you want to work? We gain perhaps the most purpose in how we approach our work, how we solve problems, and engage in the creative process. There are four main types of people: community-centered, people who advocate and forge connections in the community; human-centered people who create personal and unique experiences for individuals; structure-driven people who look at the integration of entire systems and strategic shifts; and those who are knowledge-driven, who look to the data to understand applications, people, or processes. If what I've just said strikes a chord with you, it's important to know what type of a person would you be: community-centered, human-centered, structure-driven, or knowledge-driven, and then see what sorts of identifying characteristics jobs like these would be in wider work community. Because if you have a good fit this way, if you know what type of work you like to do, you will have a much higher success ratio of finding a job that you are good at and that you enjoy doing. So look at your potential roles and employers and ask yourself, how would you serve, and whether that aligns with your purpose. If you're human-centered, but find yourself in a role where you're primarily engaging through databases or knowledge-driven, it likely will not fit you. Now, step 2 is to know your story. Once you figure out what you want, it's time to put that together with your skills and past experience in a way that makes sense for your next position. Knowing your story well enough to tell it forward and backward won't just help you in the interview, it'll help you with your application materials and networking efforts. Nowadays, we call it knowing your personal brand. Your personal brand matters. Your brand is your reputation, It's your calling card. It's what you're known for and how people experience you. It's about bringing who you are to what you do and how you do it. Delivering your brand clearly and consistently will create a memorable experience in the minds of those you interact with and can open doors to new opportunities. You need to make a detailed study of yourself to describe your personal brand. This personal brand experience is your opportunity to learn more about yourself so that you can identify your unique skills, strengths, and talents. It's your chance to tap into your values and passions to find your purpose. These areas form the foundation of your personal brand and can help you chart a course for your career and can position you to reach your goals. Lead with your strengths. People with strong brands are clear about who they are. They know and maximize their strengths. Now is your chance to uncover and define unique skills that make you stand out from the crowd. Another helpful suggestion is to be aware of your weaknesses, but find ways to minimize them. No potential employers want to know all your weak points. The intelligent thing is to know and emphasize your talents and strong points. Another good thing to do is to follow what I call the 3 M's: mitigate, manage, and master, to ensure that you've got a good game plan to weaken your weaknesses. For mitigate, minimize the impact of your weaknesses by choosing fields or projects that don't require skills that lie in your weak zone. Or find a way to outsource the weak areas to another teammate so you can leverage your strengths. Identify weaknesses that can be mitigated by leveraging strengths or other resources that you have access to. Manage your weakness. Focus only on those weaknesses that may be holding you back from achieving your goals. Identify weaknesses that need remediation or change that is within your power to accomplish. And then master the weakness. Seize opportunities to build the skills that will serve you well. Consider leveraging the help of a mentor to turn your weaknesses into a strength, or at least develop it so it won't hold you back. Identify skill building opportunities and create an action plan. What skills are missing? What skills would you like to build but have not yet had the opportunity to practice? What weaknesses would you like or need to turn into strengths? Now, step 3 is to reach out to your connections. This can be known as networking or generally getting in touch with people who may be able to help you on your career path. People are generally happy to help others out if they're just told how. So as you're doing your job search, cast a wide net and see who's open to talking. Reach out to old and new connections alike and let them know what your goals are. It will help them to help you. Step 4 is get ready to apply. Preparation work is important, but a good job won't just fall into your lap without you eventually getting a resume and cover letter together. There's lots of job search advice out there, and it can definitely get overwhelming. So keep things simple, and if possible, get the services of a job or a career coach to help you cover all your bases, especially in the areas of getting a resume and cover letter together. It's important to know that for each job that you may apply for, you should have something specifically targeted for that particular job, not just a general one which goes out to everybody. You'll have a much higher chance of success if you know what the points are in a job that they want, and then you match your cover letter and resume to bring out your strengths and talents to meet that. So these are traditional ways of going about trying to find out what your strengths and talents are, what your ideal job could be. But there are also some interesting suggestions I came across recently about thinking outside the box from a recent Forbes magazine article. And it was called Unconventional Ways to Land Your Dream Job. The first one is apply for jobs that are never listed. By connecting with all sorts of extraordinary people from all walks of life, most of the really great jobs are filled before companies even think to post them on job sites. Overall, the interviewing process is tedious, and if 50 people interview, 49 are going to lose and only one will win. How many times have you interviewed for a job that you knew wasn't right for you, and yet you were still devastated when you weren't called back for the next round? It's sort of like a beauty pageant gone terribly wrong. Another good tip is become friends with people who work in companies you're interested in. Enjoy learning about them and supporting them. And let them know if you're available for new jobs or new challenges. And you might be surprised. They may call you up and then tell you about a new position or a job opening up that is not advertised. This is really, really helpful with networking because it opens new doors all the time. The thing to do here is to be of service, not just contacting people out of the blue, but developing a relationship and giving something of value to them. And chances are they'll remember you, say, I'd love to have this person work with me in my company, and why not tell my friend about this job because maybe he has the skills to do it. And skills will always win. So it's really important to develop mastery in your chosen job or profession so you can continue to create job opportunities. Companies will always need people who can deliver strong results. Great companies hire good people who are willing to learn and who are not afraid to educate themselves. There is a wealth of learning available to you on and off the internet. So it is so important to always be doing what I call lifelong learning. Study those things where you want to increase your skills, or you may find some new interests that you haven't explored before. Taking a couple of courses in those may open up new horizons for you and show you strengths you didn't know you have. So this will open up another path for you to find potential new ideal jobs. And I'd suggest don't rely on your resume too much. A resume is a good first step to get your foot in the door and describe what you've accomplished in your career. But showing is better than telling. Create a portfolio that represents who you are and what you stand for. You could add this to LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. Those are the places where hiring professionals will go to check you out anyways. And also, don't focus primarily on money or the salary that you want to make. If you're really good, it will find you. Discover the work that calls out to you and start doing it. If you're just in the game of work for the money, title, and illusion of power, you'll never really feel completely satisfied or fulfilled. Here's a great example of someone who keeps money in a healthy perspective. A young man loved building websites. He loved it so much that he quit school and built them from dawn until late in the evening, just about every day. Every project led to another. He had so much work he started hiring helpers. Today, he operates a successful web development firm and still builds websites. He hired someone to help him take care of the business so he can continue to do what he was born to do. He found a passion and a love that just carried him along, and he created his own opportunity. How wonderful is that? And another good suggestion that I've been able to give people is don't quit your present job while you're discovering what you want to do. Your time before and after you go to work belongs to you. A company doesn't own you, just the time you put into it. And having more than one job for short periods of time, contrary to popular belief, won't burn you out. Worry, stress, and being tired takes a bigger toll in the long run. Also, if you have a day job, you don't have to worry about failing or going hungry, since you have a steady income coming in. Eventually, you may need to take the next step and leave your old job behind in favor of a new one. But until then, it's really good to have a safety net. Be happy to have that safety net and don't shortchange it. You may be in the job that you don't love, but you can use the time that's your own personal time to put efforts into developing new skills or looking for that other ideal job that is just waiting for you in the future. And another good thing to do is to demonstrate genuine gratitude in your current position, no matter where you're working. Gratitude is an excellent trait to master. Most people enjoy working with grateful, genuine people who give their all. Do the absolute best you can, and if you haven't been putting all your efforts into your current job, go that extra mile to build better work habits before seeking that dream job. Keep in mind that happiness generally has little to do with a job. Happiness is a choice. This is one of my favorite sayings. Neither your boss nor your company can make you happy. One of the happiest people I knew was a dedicated window washer at the United Nations in New York. He brought pride and joy with him to the job. He always had interesting stories to tell about the diplomats or staff that he met every day. Where else would I meet so many nice people, he said. He did the same job for many, many years, and he took pride in his level of professionalism and expertise. I felt very moved when I met this man, and I've always remembered him because he was a shining example of he was happy doing what he loved. It might not be what you or I might have wanted to do, but he took genuine pride and happiness in doing that. And I mean, what a way to live a life, feeling happy, satisfied, and in charge of your own destiny. Another thing I would suggest is get off social media and make sure that you're back in the game of work, because social media is a tool. It's not a job. Once you upload your credentials and you start looking for those jobs on the online job boards, get back out into the real world. Limit your time on social media to a few minutes a day at specified times, such as before going to work, during your lunch break or at home in the evening. Social media isn't a job, it's a tool. A contractor doesn't live for his hammer. He or she puts it to work building things. So don't make the mistake of being too much in social media, because you need to devote your efforts to develop your skills, to go and network, and just generally get yourself out there, because social media is actually quite isolating. It's only you and the computer, whereas if you're out in the world meeting people or doing things, this is going to open up a lot of opportunities as well. It's what they call the personal touch. See, we can use technology also to remotely learn about companies and jobs. But one question is, could we be doing more? What we need to do is to think of imaginative ways to find out about job postings and other companies. And if you know there's a certain type of work you want to do, find out what companies exist in that area and research them. Find out who the hiring managers are. Find out if you might know people in that company. And then follow up those leads. That's being proactive. And never limit yourself. For example, if you love writing, write. If you love designing beautiful spaces, design away. If you want to build websites, go ahead. The choice is ultimately yours. So don't waste your time, and regardless of where you're working, focus and manage your time wisely, because it's more important than money. It's the one thing you can never get back, replace, or buy more of. Finding your dream job is very important, but it should not take place of the job that you may be doing now. Don't make finding your dream job a full-time occupation, or your current job or things that you're doing will suffer. You don't want to focus on it so much that you isolate yourself, you don't take care of your obligations, you ignore family life or members. It needs to be in balance too. It is important to have a dream job or an ideal job, but you may be in a few jobs that are not maybe the most ideal until you find that dream job. And that's not a bad thing, because you learn from every job or every experience that you have, and it strengthens you and rounds you out as a person. So one thing which is important is to have patience and not get upset with yourself if the different efforts you're making don't result, say, in your ideal job within a few weeks or a few months. It is the path of getting there which is important. And being of service to others and being kind to yourself, that's very, very important. So I'd like to leave you with those thoughts. And if there's any way that I can assist you, then that would be wonderful. Because we all deserve to be having the best life we can design and make it happen. Go for your dream. You can do it. And if I can indeed help you with further information or answer any questions about how to do your ideal job search, please contact me, Carol Davies, the Passion Motivator, at my website, www.thepassionmotivator.com, or by email at coachcaroldavies@gmail.com. I do have training as a career counselor and coach, so I've worked with several people and would just love to help you if you have questions. Remember, making changes in your life is something you can do. So tune in next week for more tips on making a wonderful life for yourself, and looking forward to talking to you then. Bye now.
Tune in every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern for Only the Best for You with Carol Davies on Global Voice Radio.